Are you guys new to the game and sometimes you guys feel like as a new player, your loadout's just a little shitty, like pew, 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 dud, dud, dud. Well, don't worry. I got you guys, because I'm going to make your loadout, even as a beginner, sound more like this. Kill! Kill! Oh yeah, baby! Kill, 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 kill. That's right. I'm going to make you guys feel like your loadout is actually doing something. So stick around, nerds. Here we go. What's shaking, nerds? Welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be answering the question I get most asked on Twitch. I'm new to the game. What loadout should I be using? So we're going to be showing you some cheap loadouts to be using from all level 1 traders. I'm going to be showing you more expensive loadouts from level 1 traders. And then we're going to go deep diving into as if you had all the level 2 traders unlocked. So what you can start, making when you're level 2. And that gets a little more complicated because at level 2, you have a lot more stuff available. And that means you can start modding weapons. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite modded weapons from level 2 traders also. We're going to pretend like the flea market's not there, just in case if this is the start of the wipe, or hey, it's easier if you just know it's at your readiness and you don't got to go on the flea market for it. So that's coming up in this video. Stick around. We got a lot to go over. Before we go into the level 1 weapons that I'd recommend you guys buying and that are my favorite, I want to talk to you guys about one of the most important items you guys can purchase from level 1 Ragman. And this goes from level 1 to level 40. It's a balaclava. Always be wearing some sort of face mask, you guys. And why I say that is because when you're out there on the battlefield, you're bright white and shiny without a balaclava. So it's easier for enemies to spot you. This way, say 1 out of 10 times someone doesn't spot you and you get the jump on them, it's a great investment. You get to kill them instead of them killing you, you get their looty loot. Win-win. I just highly recommend you always wear a balaclava. If you ask anyone that's been playing Tarkov for a long time and you say, hey, what gun should I use first? 95% of them will tell you the SKS. It's just a great all-around gun. And the best thing about it is it takes 7.62 ammo, and even mid-game 7.62 PS ammo can hold its own. There's nothing really wrong with it. Some people will be naysayers, but guess what? It's pretty decent. I'm telling you right now, it's pretty decent. But one thing I'm going to tell you to do is just to take off the rear sights of the SKS. I'm not sure if you take these off, if it does anything to the gun itself. It might make it all haywire. I don't know. Put it in the comments below if it does. But all I know is it just looks cleaner. It just looks a lot better with the rear sights off. So you can see the comparison here. The left rear sights are on, the right rear sights are off. Looks just better. I don't know. That's me. If you would have asked me last wipe, hey, Geeks, what gun do you recommend? 100% I would have said the PP19. Not only is it a 9x19 and it shoots very fast, so it goes pew pew pew, but it's just an all-around good gun because you can put a sight on it from level 1. And I know how much optics mean to a lot of new players, but unfortunately that is now locked behind level 2 Prapper. So we've got a new gun, the MP5KN. It's a brand new gun. It's really good. I'm going to say it's better than the PP19. The only problem is you can't put a scope on it right away. So that is unfortunate. The best ammo you can get for it right away is the PST Geekseh. Listen, this gun's a great gun, but make sure if you're starting nowadays, you're going to have to aim for some legs. You're going to have to leg meta them. Also, the other thing I want to let you guys know is the 20 round mags and the 30 round mags are both the same price. They're $37 from Peacekeeper. So if I were you, always be going for those 30 rounders. The last gun is the AKS-74U, but before you can get your hands on it, you guys, you're going to need to complete Debut by Prapper. It's one of his first missions he gives you. And what you have to do is you have to kill 5 scavs and you just have to hand over 2 MP133 pump action shotguns. Now, I just said you just got to do this. And I know it's a lot harder than it actually is, especially for a newer player. So I'm not going to, make you guys feel any less if you can't do it fast. I get that, but you can do it. Trust me, you can do this task. And once you're done it, you're gonna get yourself an AKS-74U. It's an okay gun. It's not my most recommended gun at all, but some people really like AKs. So, you know, this might feel better for you. The best ammo you can get for it is 545 PS ammo, which is complete and utter garbage. And this is one of the last things I'm going to say to you about these guns. I know I told you, don't go to the flea market for anything. This is just for, you know, bare out of the bones person. If you're going to spend your money anywhere on the flea market, don't get attachments, don't get weapons, get ammo. Ammo is so important. I'd say ammo over everything, guys. It's that important. If you have a garbage gun, but amazing ammo in it, you can mow down some people. It's really good. Also, the last thing I want to tell you is you don't have to use these guns. This is for after you feel comfortable with the game and, you know, you're not using pistols anymore. If you're not really comfortable with the map yet, or with the game, stick with pistols and just giving her a run at her. But if you're feeling more comfortable with the controls and the map, these are the guns I'm going to get you to look at first. Last thing I want to show you guys is some good trades for level 1 weapons. The first one I'm going to talk about is my old trusty PP19. You used to be able to get this from level 1. Prapper, now you can't. You have to trade for it, and you need 5 T-shaped plugs. The best thing about this gun is if you do get your hands on it, you can put an optic on it from level 1 Prapper also. He sells the optic that just goes straight on the gun. The second trade that I really like here is rechargeable battery for an Adar. And my Adar is probably one of my most favorite early weapons once you can unlock it. It's a great all-around gun. It really packs a punch, and you don't really need much to mod it out. And the last thing is 8 knives for an MP5. These are all great trades. If you see any of these items early on in the game, pick them up because you know they're worth a weapon in the long run. So now this brings us to level 1 equipment, the best equipment you could buy at level 1. This is the only stuff that I think is really worth it. So we're gonna start off with the Ragman level 1 Geekseh. Now, these aren't great headphones at all, but headphones are better than no headphones. So if you want to wear headphones, I'd recommend using these ones. The next thing you can get is the pack of soft armor. Now, again, this isn't great armor at all, but it's decent against scavs, and that's what you should be fighting when you're new to the game. You shouldn't be trying to find any PMCs. You should be just going and fighting scavs, so it's decent for that. The next thing you're going to look at is the M-Rig. This is going to make it so you can carry some magazines with you. So if you carry, like, say, the MP5KN or the AKS-74U, you're going to need to put your magazines in something for you to, you know, swap in and out. That's where the M-Rig comes in. The other thing is this sling that's right here, this Ragman level 1 backpack. It really does suck. I'm not going to lie to you, but again, it's just like the headphones. Having a backpack's better than not having a backpack. So you can get a sling from Ragman level 1. And the last and final is your SSH 69, I think it's called, or 68. I'm sorry, I can't see, but it's just what we call the penis helmet in EFT. Going back to the sling backpack, it's, again, not the greatest or anything like that, but what I want to emphasize here, you guys, is if you ever see a backpack early game, make sure you grab it. Early game, yes, you want to hoard guns and ammo and everything, but one of the most important things you can get is backpacks, because as you can see, you can't really get great backpacks at the beginning. So make sure you hoard them all when you see them. There's not many trades you can get for level 1 equipment, but 2 of my favorites are 3 lower half masks for 1 P.A.K.A. And the other one is 2 level 1 dog tags for an MBS backpack. And like I said, backpacks are very valuable to you. So if you do get your hands on any sort of dog tag, say you do kill some people, you can trade them in for this. But here's the thing. If the dog tag is probably level, I don't know, probably over level 20, you should probably just trade it to therapists, because you can get enough money from the trade to buy one of these and then still have probably money left over. I'm not sure. I wonder how much you need in dog tag wise, like what level to make it so you can get this backpack and still have money left over? Someone tell me in the comments below. So this is my budget build for beginning players that are more comfortable with the game after going through with pistols a couple of times. You've got an SKS, you got your balaclava on, you got 10 extra rounds of ammo, 10 in the gun, you got an AI2, you got a bandage, and then you're in your alpha/gamma container. You've got 50 more rounds of PS ammo, you've got another piece of cheese, you've got painkillers, and you also have a splint. The reason I don't put all the ammo into my pockets is if you can't kill the person, the scav or the player within the 20 rounds you have, you're probably dead anyways. So there's no point of wasting 50 more rounds having it in your pockets. That's just a waste of money. Also, the reason I picked the SKS is because that way you don't need an M-rig. You know, you can just load the gun straight from your pocket. So that is, you know, that's convenient. And that's one less thing you have to buy. My balls to the walls loadout is the same as the first one, but I added a PACA, a helmet, and jizzes. Again, we're sticking with the SKS because this way we don't have to buy a rig. Also, I want to point out the fact that in my gamma container, I only have 4 items, and that's because I know a lot of you only have the alpha container, so I want you guys to be able to be relatable to this. So this is my balls to the walls loadout, and I know as you guys keep going in the game, say you're playing as a scav, and you should be, every time your scav pops up, it's really important to play as your scav, especially as a beginner. I know as you get, you know, you progress in the game, you're going to get better weapons and better armor just from doing runs, but you know, my balls to the walls loadout for you just being able to buy stuff from level 1 traders, this is what I would go with. You might have better stuff from raids and whatnot, but if you're just going to buy from scratch, here you go. So now that you have most of your traders to level 2, I know a lot of you guys already know, hey, this is my favorite gun, or this type of gun is my favorite. So I'm just going to show you the options you have once you get your traders up one more level, what guns you can purchase from them. The first one we're going to talk about is the Adar. One of my favorite guns, early levels. This thing rips, especially if you have really decent ammo for it. I really highly recommend you get good with this gun because it's really cheap to mod and it can do a lot of damage. The next gun is your AKM. I'm not a huge fan of this gun, but it does take 7.62 ammo. And like I said before, 7.62 ammo is very good. This gun does do full auto and semi-auto. If you're going to use this gun, you're probably going to want to keep it on semi-auto though, because it does kick quite a bit. Your next gun, actually one of my favorite guns right here, is the AK-74N, only because of so many ways that you can mod this gun. I think this is a great mid-level gun. Once you unlock better ammo for it and you mod it and you're comfortable with it, you can take this and apply it everything pretty much to the AKM. So anything you can pretty much put on the AK-74N, most of the time will fit on the AKM also. The next gun is your MPX. Again, it's one of my favorite guns. I'm going to say that about a lot of these because I do love the guns in this game, but the MPX is a friggin' great gun, man. Especially when you mod it. Like I said, I know a lot of times I'm saying especially when you mod it, blah, 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 but all you need to do to mod this MPX is get one grip and one optic on it, and you're done. It's pretty set. It's pretty decent right there. And then the next gun is my old level 1 favorite, and my favorite nowadays because of how easy it is to mod. That's the PP19. Level 2 equipment is where that song comes in. You know, when you get Ragman level 2, the only thing that comes to my mind is that song, A Whole New World. You know what I'm saying? It's the best when you get Ragman level 2. Everything opens up for you guys. So some of my favorite equipment from level 2, Ragman, because most of the time the equipment comes from him. The first thing is a helmet I still use, like even at level 42. It's the LZSH light helmet. Later on, you can put a face shield on this thing. Love this thing. It is really expensive though, so I wouldn't recommend you guys using it, but it is there if you want to. The next helmet is what I would recommend you guys use, and that's the 6B47. It's roughly 30,000 rubles. It's the next step up from the penis helmet. It's a banger. This is probably going to be your go-to helmet for a long time. Now you can get rid of those Geekseh headphones and you can bring in the Comtacs. Now these aren't the best at all. These aren't my favorite at all, but goddamn are they better than the Geeksehs. So if you're going to go out a little more sweaty, have these instead of the Geeksehs. And the number one problem everyone has right now, backpacks. You can't buy a good backpack until you get Ragman level 2, and you have two to choose from. You have the Scav backpack, which is the tried and true, has been in the game for a long time, and this one costs I think around 16,000 rubles. And then you have the Wartech. This is a brand new backpack that just came into the game I think last wipe. They both do carry the same amount of items, but the Wartech has no speed penalty, where the Scav backpack gives you -8% speed. So it's up to you whether you think, you know, the extra rubles to get the Wartech's worth it, or if you're willing just to take the hit and, you know, save a couple of rubles and get the Scav backpack. And last but not least, we've got armor. So your first armor up is your 6B23. This is just your regular body armor. You're going to need a rig if you use this, unless you're just going SKS. This is from Ragman level 2. The next thing is the Yuli armored rig. So this used to be the end all be all. Everyone would recommend this for newer players because not only is it body armor, but it is a rig at the same time. But that's until 6B3TM came into the scene. This is a brand new armored rig, and using this, you don't have to use body armor. It's level 4, so it's better than the Yuli and the 6B23, and you don't need a rig. Like, you save money. And here's the thing, the Yuli is only 5,000 rubles less than the armored rig, than the 6B3. So if you're going to get body armor, I highly recommend you get the 6B3TM. It's just a great bang for the buck. I'm telling you right now, this is probably going to be your go-to armor / rig. And the last thing is, if you have better armor than say the 6B23, say you found better armor but you need some sort of rig, I'd recommend looking at the D3CRX. There's a couple that you can choose from at this level, but my go-to at this level would be this one. Now, I'm not going to show you guys, you know, basic loadouts and, you know, sweaty loadouts, because I feel like by now you know what you like, what you don't like, you have a better feeling for the game. But what I am going to show you is 3 guns you can mod that are very easy, doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, and it will rip people apart. So the first weapon we're looking at is the PP19. And I just want to give everyone a warning. I'm not using the MPX. I'm not using any parts from Peacekeeper level 2, only because to get Peacekeeper to level 2, it's a lot more difficult than it is to get everyone else to level 2. So I'm staying away from them. So guns and attachments, we're not going to look at all. I'm going to use attachments only from Skier, Mechanic, or Prapper. So the first thing you're going to need for this PP19 is the AK100 series foregrip. And then you're going to need an RK1 foregrip onto that. After that, we're going to change the pistol grip to an RK3. And then, of course, we want a sight on that gun. And all you're going to need to put a sight on it is the Cobra EKP802. And those 4 things transform the gun into a more sturdy PP19. I'm not going to say it's the end-all be-all by any means, but it does make it a lot better. So if you're looking for a submachine gun that can fuck, this is probably the one you're going to be looking at. Next up is a gun that everyone's going to tell you should be using more and more nowadays, and that's probably the Adar. I know a lot of you are going to be kind of hesitant because it's not a fully automatic gun. Don't worry about that. Just trust me, this thing will take out your mother for a nice seafood dinner, and it will call her back. I promise you that. So we're going to mod it. And the first thing we're gonna get is the Magpul MOE mid-length M-Lock. And to put a grip on that, we're gonna need the Magpul M-Lock 4.1-inch guide. I'd recommend, again, the RK1 foregrip on it. Now, this is something that's really important here, is the low profile gas block, the MK12. This way you don't have that big beveled gas block on there, so your sight's kind of in the way, like it's going to be in the way of your sight. So this is a really important thing to buy. It's called the MK12 low profile gas block. The next thing is your Troy M7A1. And then after that, we're going to put a new pistol grip on there, and that's the AR-15 or the DI ECS FDE. That's a mouthful right there. There's two things I want to tell you about this gun. One, I didn't show you any optic to use because there's so many different optics you can use on this gun that I kind of want you to play with it and see which one you like more over the other. It's just something you got to get used to. So maybe play it in an offline raid and see what optic you like the best. I think they destroyed the Weaver. It used to look a lot better last wipe. Now it's not my favorite, but there are a lot of optics you can use. So just play around with it in an offline mode. Find the one that you feel more comfortable with. Also, the second thing is you don't need to make all these changes. Like if you don't want to use the Troy or the pistol grip and you just want to keep the wooden stock on there, all for it. But I'm just showing you some options that you can do to mod this gun. The last gun is for all those AK lovers out there. This is one of my favorite guns, the AK-74N. I like the N, I like the M. All these guns are great and you can mod them in so many ways, but I'm going to show you, the way you can mod it right now and very effectively. So you're first going to pick up the Zenit B10 AK handguard, and then you're going to get the Weaver adapter for it so you can put on a sight. And like I said before, guys, I'm not going to show you what sight to put on there. That's up to you. You're also going to need a new pistol grip and the RK3. As you can see, it's been in 2 of the builds. It's just a good go-to pistol grip. And the RK1 foregrip is also needed. And this is, again, my go-to foregrip for right now. With only having so many, this has the best stats. But if you want a cheaper foregrip, there are some out there. And last but not least, you're going to need the Ishmash Polymer AK-74 stock. I know this was a longer video, so thank you so much for watching the entirety of it. I hope you guys learned some things. If you don't know, it does take me a long time to make these more in-depth videos, so thank you. If you haven't, maybe think about subscribing to the channel. I put a lot of videos out there weekly. Hopefully you learn a couple of things here and there. Also, if you ever have questions, I stream 5 days a week on Twitch. Come on in, ask it. I'll do my best. I'm not going to say I know everything, but I know enough that I can at least help you or at least point you in the right direction. So until next time, I'll talk to you nerds later.